This is Tar Heel Illustrated publisher Andrew Jones coming to you from deep in the bowels of the THI headquarters, which is actually my office in my house. Big news around UNC football. Earlier Sunday, I was over in Chapel Hill for Mack Brown's post-practice interview session / press conference. It wasn't as formal as the usual press conference and a little more formal than his usual post-practice interview session. He had huge news about the quarterback position, but before I get to that very quickly, we got an amazing special going on throughout the Rivals.com network, which includes us at TarHeelIllustrated.com. For $75, you get a one-year membership to THI, which is just $6.25 a month. And on top of that, you get $75 in Adidas gear for free. So it's an even wash, 75 bucks. You get us for a year and you get $75 worth of Adidas gear. What you get with a premium membership is all of our coverage, everything that we do. And we travel. We go to every UNC football game wherever the Tar Heels play, every basketball game wherever the Tar Heels play. We cover football recruiting extensively, basketball recruiting extensively, and it gives you access to our premium message boards where we put a ton of content on there that never makes it to the front page. And a lot of it are our scoops and inside information we just don't put on the front page because we don't want 12 front page stories scrolling through the front every day. So we put a lot of stuff on the message boards. You get a chance to interact with a ton of passionate Carolina fans just like yourself, and of course our staff. We got 9 of us. We're all on the boards. We interact with everybody. It's a fun community to be a part of. I enjoy it, and a lot of our subscribers say that one of their favorite things is that they get to talk to us. Jacob Turner, Dina King, Clint Jackson, Gerard Hardy. You get to talk to all of us on those message boards, and it's only possible if you have a premium membership to TarHeelIllustrated.com. Now back to what Mack had to say today. He announced true freshman quarterback Sam Howell has been named the blue team quarterback, which means first team quarterback. Mack's program has blue team for first team, white team is second team, gray team is third team. And we're going to report it as blue team, white team, gray team as we cover the team because that's the way they discuss it, and we're going to cover them in that way. Now, the reason Howell was named the starter, you could probably look at a few different things. Number one, we talked to Phil Longo, the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach, earlier in the week, when he was asked what are the attributes of the 3 guys vying for the job, in addition to Sam, Jace Ruder, and Cade Fortin, he said, well, Fortin has the best arm, Ruder has the best legs, and Howell does a little bit of both. That might be one of the reasons why Howell got this job, or at least has it right now. Mack Brown said Sunday, consistency. Now, Ruder and Fortin have been dealing with some injury issues, and that's probably affected their continual ascent, and our understanding is the quarterbacks have been ascending since day one, and today was the 15th practice and the end of fall camp, by the way. Fall camp is now over with, but Howell was the most consistent. He wasn't dinged up, and I think he kind of brings maybe a little bit of an edge to the field that the other two maybe don't quite have. No knock on them because they're both excellent talents and I think can be Power 5 quarterbacks at North Carolina or anywhere else or a lot of other places. But if you want to know why Howell got this job, you have to look at some of his other intangibles. Aside from the edge, there's a toughness to him. If you watch his film in high school, this guy can take a beating. I know it's high school, but high school can be an indicator of what's next. That's what everyone has to go on. My understanding is through spring, through the summer, and through fall camp so far, he's kind of been that guy. Quarterbacks aren't getting hit, but there is a toughness he carries out in the field. There's a grit, a gritty swag that he takes onto the field with him that maybe the other two didn't quite have. And when you're dealing with a situation like UNC is, where there's a lot of young wide receivers, some of whom have been banged up in fall camp, so there's not great chemistry yet. They got a couple of questions on the offensive line, in particular not great depth, but also they're trying to figure out the center and right guard situation. You need somebody back there who can improvise, somebody back there who can tough out plays, somebody back there that the rest of the guys, maybe trust just a little bit more than the other two quarterbacks. Again, not saying that they don't trust Fortin and Ruder, but there's that extra layer that Sam Howell has that a lot of people have seen him play, say there's just the it factor there. Now, When you also talk to some people who know what they're talking about, who are knowledgeable about the position, knowledgeable about how things have been going on the last 8 months, 7 months since he got to Chapel Hill, is he's been described by a few of them as like a mini Brett Favre. He has that characteristic where a play can blow up and immediately he can turn it into something, either with his legs, rolling out, he can find a guy that's open. And a lot of what this offense is, when Phil Longo says we want our receivers to find grass, not everything is supremely scripted like other offenses where a quarterback throws it to a spot. The quarterback has to be in sync with these guys, and if he's moving, he has to be able to time things, be able to make something happen that is unscripted. And our understanding is that when you look at the three quarterbacks, Fortin, Reuter, and Howell, Howell is the best of the three at making something unscripted happen. And I think that's probably one of the other reasons why he is the first team quarterback right now. But let me also add, Mack Brown did not say he's going to start August 31st against South Carolina. He didn't say that at all. He said he's the first team quarterback right now, blue team, and he's taking blue team reps. I even asked about the rep distribution. He said he's taking blue team reps, Fortin and Reuter are splitting white team reps. And basically that means about 70% for Howell, and then Fortin and Reuter are going to split 30. Now they practice Monday night. It's an open practice in front of the student body, and any fans that want to come in, they're off Tuesday, and they begin their early morning practices Wednesday. They have an 8 a.m. practice. That's a week and a half before the opener against South Carolina, and they will begin the process of building toward that game. It's highly unlikely Howell doesn't start in Charlotte, but he may not be the only quarterback who plays. I still think, and this is just a gut feeling and opinion that I have, I can see a second quarterback getting some reps in that game. They got to have guys ready, and it's not like Fortin and Reuter have a lot of experience behind them. They're both redshirt freshmen, even though they played last year. Fortin did start 2 games and played okay, and Reuter had 25 snaps against Georgia Tech and threw a touchdown pass 2 plays after breaking a bone in his shoulder. So they both have shown something. So that means that Howell didn't win this by default. He beat out 2 pretty quality guys so far. He's beaten out 2 pretty quality guys. And if he's the one who takes the ball first when they go into Charlotte to play the Gamecocks, that means he's still continuing to beat those guys out. I think it's a positive for UNC that this is how things have played out. He's the homegrown kid, big-time 4-star prospect who had previously committed to Florida State. When Mack Brown was hired a few weeks later, he got him to flip. Of course, Phil Longo was a big part of that meeting that they had in late December, and Sam went ahead and flipped from Florida State, signed with the Tar Heels, enrolled in January. So he's already had now 30 practices, 29 practices in a spring game. So he's had a lot of reps around these guys. He went through all the summer stuff, a lot of high praise about how he performed in the summer. Leadership may not 100% be there, but let's see what happens in the next 2 weeks. Mack Brown did say that he's looking for more leadership on offense, and you really want that to come from the quarterback, among other guys, but it really needs to come from the quarterback. So I asked him, is this the kind of thing that might help bring some of that out of a true freshman who, just in human nature, says that a true freshman isn't going to be as vocal as an older guy would? And he said yes. They're hoping that the comfort and the confidence that this gives him, and obviously the teammates are going to look at him and say, okay, he's the guy. They're gonna maybe embrace him even more than they already have, and that might help some of the leadership come out. And it might be something that's just going to be born through some of his play. They go into the South Carolina game the next week against Miami, then Wake Forest, then App State, then Clemson. If he's making plays and showing toughness, a lot of that stuff will just become natural. It's not going to happen overnight. No true freshman has ever stepped in a situation in game 1 and been unreal at quarterback and continued to be unreal. Even Trevor Lawrence last year had to bide his time behind Kelly Bryant, and eventually that decision was made. Sam's not Trevor Lawrence, and the other 2 aren't Kelly Bryant. It's a different situation, very, very different situation. Got a new staff, got a new system, a lot of young receivers. You got a question mark situation in the offensive line, really good running backs and really good tight ends. But you got to have a quarterback that can get them the ball, a guy who can make some plays, and they believe that guy is Sam Howell. This is THI publisher Andrew Jones. Thanks for being with us here on TarHeelIllustrated.com. Go to TarHeelIllustrated.com for a lot more of our coverage about the Sam Howell situation, all the other positions. There are a ton of position battles going on. There are a lot of concerns that Mack has. It's all on our site right now. And of course, we'll be there Monday night covering practice, and we'll bring you lots of videos, photos, interviews, all kinds of stuff. Every day we're on top of it right here at TarHeelIllustrated.com. Thank you.